Hello everyone, we welcome you back on How You Got Placed, HYP Season 5. Today we have with us Medhavi ma'am and Ritika Tomar ma'am. So ma'am, first I would like you both to give a short introduction about yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Ritika Tomar and I am currently in my final year of integrated post-graduation in information technology from IIIT Gwalior, of course. And I recently did internship at Google as an application engineer intern. So that's all about me.
Hi everyone, I am Medhavi Srivastava and I'm also from the 2018 Integrated Masters of Technology batch, and I was an intern with Amazon India and incoming SD at Amazon.
So my first question is to you Medhavi ma'am. You have worked as an SD intern at Amazon and Rakuten and you were successfully able to convert Amazon internship into a PPO. So could you share about that?
Yes, so I'll begin with Rakuten. Rakuten's experience was really enriching. It was my first internship at a big company. So the work-life balance at Rakuten is also very nice. I had some training sessions in the beginning, which helped me throughout my internship project. So I was I think the main thing about internships is always being in contact with your buddy or your mentor who you're assigned at the beginning. So you have to keep them updated about about your progress and any doubts or obstacles that you're facing. I think that's what helped me in Amazon and Rakuten both. For Amazon specifically, the tech stack was new to me, so I had a lot of hiccups and a lot of obstacles, but I guess the key point that mattered in my conversion of the internship to the PPO was that my manager not only took notes about my progress, but as well as the efforts that I had been putting in. So the key thing is to always showcase that you're doing something, you're putting in your efforts, even if they're not bringing into the right results. So that's all I had to say for that.
Thank you, ma'am. Ritika ma'am, as we know that you are a former application engineer intern at Google and an upcoming winter intern at Nutanix. Kindly share with us the experience of your preparation strategy and what the interview process was like.
Okay, so I'll start with the application engineer intern at Google. So I'll tell you about how the process was like, and so basically I received a mail from a recruiter where she mentioned that like my profile has got shortlisted for that application engineer role. So honestly, I did not knew about that particular role initially. After I got the mail from the recruiter, I got to know about the application engineer role. So I previously had applied for various other roles at Google, like STEP internship and SWE internship, but unfortunately either I was rejected during the internship the interview processes, or either I was not shortlisted for the same. So if I talk about the application the interview process for the application engineer intern, it was like slightly different from the normal interview processes. So first of all, we had an DSA round. The questions that were asked in that particular round was like pretty much of easy to medium level, and the second round was basically a system design round. So I was very nervous during that particular round because I never had experience of doing any I did not attended any interview where I was asked questions related to the system design interview, and also I was not pretty much into that field. So I was given 1 week preparation time to prepare for that particular round, and I went through some YouTube videos, like the YouTube videos of the Gaurav Sen for system design. So I went through those videos, like how to design WhatsApp and Twitter for that matter. So and then after when the interview process actually started, it started off with a very light-hearted conversation between me and the interviewer, and then it went he asked me about some questions related to the database design. So it was not like that he expected me to know about the high-level design. He wanted me to have the he wanted to test the logic behind my approach, how that he proposed a use case in front of me, and then he he asked me like, how are you going to approach that particular problem, how are you going to, which attributes are you going to add, and why are you choosing that particular attribute. So yeah, that was all about it. And so basically I will say that it was a low level system design interview. And if somebody want to like prepare for the system designs, I would highly recommend them to watch the some YouTube videos, like as I previously mentioned, Gaurav Sain's, and then there's a very good playlist by Code Karle, and there's also one playlist called Pseudo Code. That is also really good. And there's a person named Alex, and if you know him, like he posts really good stuff on LinkedIn about the system design, so you can follow him for more such tutorials. And he has also like published a book, if I remember correctly, the name of the book is How to Crack the System Design Interview. So yeah, you can refer to those. And like I would also suggest that if you want to like before starting off with an advanced system design, what you can do is like just get your basics right. Like your foundation needs to be strong. Like you need to know about the computer networks, you need to know about the database design, then only you should proceed with the advanced topics like load balancers and all that stuff. So yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. That was really insightful. Moving on, Medhavi ma'am, you completed your GSOC with OpenMRS. Kindly elaborate your journey with open source contributions and major takeaway from this experience.
So the open source experience was the first transforming experience for me. So OpenMRS is a big organization. It has multiple projects in various domains which work on various tech stacks. So I actually filtered that particular organization because I wanted to work on a Java project as I had some experience in it. Secondly, one of our seniors had worked in that organization an year earlier, and one of my batchmate was actively contributing to it. So I had this faith that I would be getting some help when I start my journey there. So even apart from that, the community itself, OpenMRS community, is a very welcoming community, and I think I can say that for any open source community. There are like when you introduce yourself on the introduction channels and all, there are community members who actively participate in those communities to help and guide these us beginners. So I guess, and then the thing is, you have to study about the code yourself. No, you can't ask everyone about everything. You have to study yourself, and while proposing some approaches, you have to first give your own insight, what you have learned and what you know, and then share your doubts about it. If you just directly ask someone about the doubt, it will just show that you have not put in any efforts on your side. So it's best that you study, you get your doubts, you ask community members about it, and the good thing is they're always ready for help. And I guess when I had just contributed for 3 months before I had to actually submit a proposal, so I did not still have some clear ideas about some parts of the project that we were going to work on, but my mentor just advised me to keep on studying, just write what you think you would be doing in the project itself, and then based on that he reviewed the proposals, and he gave a lot of comments, a lot of advice, and then I was shortlisted for it. So one thing I wanted to say, that don't do open source contributions just for a tag. You just get yourself involved with it. You get experience, you get knowledge, you learn how to communicate with people in a professional setting. So actually I believe OpenMRS journey, GSOC journey, helped me a lot in how I should actually behave and act in actual internships. So I can say that the whole entire OpenMRS or / open source journey has been one of the most enriching and most wonderful learning experience of my college life.
Thank you, ma'am. Same with you, Ritika ma'am. You've been a former MLH fellow, so could you share something about that?
Yeah, so basically when I applied for the MLH fellowship, it had three tracks in particular. Like first one was the Explorer track, then open source track, then the third one and the last one was the externship track. So I basically applied for the Explorer track, and so in that particular track, you are just expected to know the basics of the programming, and you should have like a project, because while applying for that particular track, you need to submit that particular project in the questionnaire. So yeah, that's like initially when I applied for that. While applying for that particular MLH fellowship, I had to fill a very long questionnaire, and there were questions like, why do you want to become a MLH fellow, which technology excites you the most, and as I mentioned, like there was a particular section in that questionnaire where you needed to submit a code, where you have to you have to submit a code which you think is like you feel that this is the most like the best code that you have done in your entire journey till that point when you are applying for that. So yeah, so I felt the project that I submitted was a part of the was a project that we built in, where like we together built in the hackathon. So it was basically a project based on the mental health that deals with the mental health issue. So while there were basically 2 rounds of the interview. After you fill the questionnaire, there are basically 2 rounds of the interview. In first round, they basically ask you about the questions like why do you want, normal stuff like why do you want to become, general questions like that. But I was fortunate enough that I was directly shortlisted for the second round of the interview. So they are in that particular round, they just give you 15 to 20 minutes, and you have to explain the code that you have submitted in that questionnaire. So I would suggest that when you are explaining the code to that to the interviewer, just stick to the part which you think is have that wow factor in your code. Don't the influential part, exactly. Like you don't have to tell the interviewer about the basic stuffs like authentication. My application does authentication. Everybody's application does that part. The interviewer is not interested in that particular code. So just take that section of the code which you think is best, and you want your interviewer to know that you went extra mile to build that particular application, and you want to become the MLH fellowship. There's that zeal, that enthusiasm should be in your code as well as in you. Then only they can select you, and they can see that you are enthusiastic enough to get selected as an MLH fellow.
Thank you, ma'am. We've noted. Medhavi, ma'am, you have a lot of experience in the domain of Android development, including various projects and internship. How was your journey as an Android developer, and what would be your advice to the beginners in this journey?
So I started exploring Android development after I did not sit well with web development. So I started with Android development, because at that time Android's official language was still Java, and I had some experience with Java. So for development, I would suggest you don't necessarily have to buy paid courses that are suggested. There are multiple free courses on YouTube that I started exploring, and then we had a session with with some of our seniors who were also in the Android development field, and he gave some very great advice. He said, study a technology or some stack for 6 months, study it well enough so you can do some kind of an internship for it. So my aim was learning and building enough projects in Android, and then doing some kind of an internship with it in it. So I used to go whatever thing I had learned, I wanted to implement it in my project as well. So it was a learn and implement kind of a process. So because you can't learn those things theoretically, they're not theoretical. As much as you implement them, you'll get knowledge and the best ways to implement that particular functionality. So I also participated in ASF's hackathon or mentorship program that they have in various domains. So it was more of we didn't win that obviously, but it was more of a learning curve. It was more of a learning experience, and that gave us more boost, more encouragement in exploring that field further. When I started doing my internships, luckily, luckily, I'm not sure, but COVID had come, so we were on in lockdown. So the academic pressure got a little less, and I was able to focus on getting and applying for internships. So I was able to give a lot of my time to the internship, and working even in startups or in small organizations is also a very enriching experience. They were people with varied level of experiences who who give you different kind of reviews, through which you learn that, oh, this is how it should be done, and this is the best practice that should be used while implementing these things. So that was the approach that I have with any kind of a development, to have some kind of a work experience with that skill.
Thank you, ma'am. Ritika ma'am, you were a part of LinkedIn coaching program. Kindly tell us about how you got selected and what are the different opportunities that the program offers.
Okay, so LinkedIn coaching program is basically a mentorship program for the women in tech, basically the girls who are currently in their second year of their college journey. So I also got to know about that particular opportunity. I applied for that opportunity. So initially you just have to fill the application form. You don't have to do anything else. And then they send you a link, and it basically is an online assessment link, and it has if I remember correctly, the number of coding question it had was around 3 to 4 questions, and there was a normal essay based question where you have to just tell why do you want to get selected as an LinkedIn mentorship program. So the first the coding questions were of pretty easy, the difficulty level was very much easy, because it's a mentorship program where they are going to offer you the right kind of mentorship to learn about the DSA skills. So they don't expect you to know much about the DSA part, they don't expect you to know about the much complex data structure and algorithm like graph, DP and all. You just need to know the basics of the programming. You just need to know about the basics topics like arrays and strings or sorting, basic algorithms, and you are just ready to fill that application and do those questions. And the thing that they were testing in those questions was the logic, how you approach the problem and all that. And after we got shortlisted for that, after the coding round was over, we got a mail that we are we had a normal call, HR call, and she basically asked pretty much similar stuffs like, why do you want to apply for the mentorship program? Why how will you manage between your course curriculum and the mentorship program? So pretty basic HR questions. And then after we got selected for the mentorship, the best part about that particular mentorship program was the one-to-one mentorship. Every fellow was assigned a mentor, a separate mentor, and he or she used to give the 100% of his time to that particular fellow. So initially, the program was structured in such a way that, if I remember correctly, the duration of the mentorship program was around 3 months, and for every month they used to send a well-curated list of the topics that we need to prepare for an online assessment, which was basically for the practice. So we used to conduct meetings or sessions with our mentors, where we used to discuss about how we are going, which all topics, how we should approach these topics, basic best practices of dealing with those questions, how we have to build the logic behind that problem. And after we gave the online assessment at the end of every month, the mentor used to conduct a personal meeting with us, where we used to discuss what all mistakes we did in those online assessment.
Was it a one-to-one session?
like it was one-to-one every mentor was assigned a unique mentor, like every fellow was assigned a unique mentor, so it was a personal one-to-one sessions. So that was the best thing about that per whole program. So like we used to discuss like how like the best practices of writing a code, like how you should like mention variables, how to uniquely select the variable name, how you should like format, how should you like format the code, and how to build the logic and all those things. And yeah, that was all about the mentorship program. Like the best thing was I was able to make strong connections with the people who were like a part of the industry, like and if I tell you, like I am still in contact with my mentor. I ping him so much that if I have any doubt related to my career, that this happened and what should I do next, like I ping him, and he is so humble that he replied to all of my messages. So yeah, that's the best part of these fellowship programs that happens nowadays. So, yeah.
Ma'am, now I have a general question for both of you. How would you visualize your 5-year journey in college, and what are the noticeable changes that you have observed in this period?
So I remember when I came to college for the first time, when we started having our lectures and all, and you start meeting a lot of people who have been, dedicated towards software engineering and related technologies, like before you even knew about these terms. So you get a lot of complex, you get a lot of fear, like, oh, these people are ahead of us for this long, and they already know these stuff. They are already, so active and so, all know it all kind of a people. So you get kind of not depressed but demotivated at moments. So I think what I learned through these years is that I am my own competitor, that I know how much I am improving, and by keeping in mind my own progress is what is going to keep my mental health in a good shape. So obviously that does not mean that you don't you just directly disregard what other people are doing, and you stop discovering what or things that have to be done, that should be done. But it's not about comparing and pulling yourself down. It's about moving ahead in the race. You have to keep on doing it, but you have to keep in mind that you are going on with your own pace. You're going at your own pace, and you will be able to reach the finish line. So keeping in mind the end goal and what you envision for yourself is how I think I started coping with the competition around me. So that was my take.
So like most of the things are like same as Medhavi. I was also overwhelmed by the knowledge that these people have, like my fellow mates have. And initially I was like very much shy. I would say like I was very much shy. I did not used to like interact much with the people, and maybe I just got out of my room. I just went, like participated in various various events, and I also like took gave interviews for getting selected to the major clubs and forums of our institute. I became part of those clubs and forums, and maybe because of them, because of my seniors, because of my fellow batchmates, I was like quite comfortable in like having a conversation with them, and maybe because of them I reached to the place that where I am right now. Maybe like yes, and one thing that I would like to like give an advice to my fellow juniors, I would say that please just learn how to represent yourself. That is very much important, because everybody is working on their technical skills. Everybody is going like learning about this tech stack, this framework, and at the end you are just going to, if you don't know like how you are going to represent yourself either in the interviews or like in any other or like on any other platform, no matter how much technical skills you know, no matter how much how much you are well versed with your skills and all, but at the end what matters is like you are able to convey to the other people that you know your stuff, you know your part, and that is very much important. And lastly I would say just don't panic. And because I was one such fellow who was like panicking every time, like my fellow mates are doing this and doing that, they are they are getting selected in this particular fellowship, I'm not getting selected. But just know your part, just believe, have faith in yourself, believe that you are going to achieve something, and hard work is the key, definitely. Like talent is something which is, I feel, is God gifted, but what you have in your hands is a hard work. So just play your part, just have faith in yourself, believe, have like faith that you are capable of doing something, and you will achieve heights and you will do wonders. Trust me, you can do what you like doing, you like whatever you are capable of. You have that talent and you got this.
Thank you, ma'am. This was very enlightening.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure our viewers enjoyed as well. Thank you so much.